Now the next question is, you are given a regular hexagon. We say that a square is inscribed in a hexagon if it can be drawn in the interior such that all the four vertices, they lie on the perimeter of hexagon. Now the first question is, if a line segment has its endpoints on opposite edges of hexagon, we need to show that it passes through the center of the hexagon if and only if it divides the two edges in the same ratio. So what we'll do is, we'll say, suppose the vertices are P, Q, R, S, T, U, and suppose vertices of this square, they are A, B, C, D. Now let us take center of this hexagon as origin. Then this angle will be 60 degrees. Now suppose this length is R. Then coordinate of S will be R, 0. P in that case will be minus R, 0. And here it will be R cos theta. R cos 60 is simply R by 2. And then root 3 R by 2. And here it will be minus R by 2. Root 3 R by 2. This one will be minus R by 2. Minus root 3 R by 2. And this will be R by 2 and minus root 3 R by 2. Now we have coordinate of all the 6 vertices of this hexagon. Now question number A says, a line segment has its endpoints on opposite edges of the hexagon. Now we have a line segment which has its endpoints on opposite edges of hexagon. So suppose this is the line segment. Now suppose this point, it divides PU in the ratio lambda is to 1, and this point it divides RS in the ratio 1 is to mu. Then we can find coordinate of these 2 points, say E and F. Now coordinate of this point F, it will be R plus mu R by 2 upon 1 plus mu, and its phi coordinate will be root 3 R mu upon 2 1 plus mu. Now in the same way we can write coordinates of E. So this E will be minus R by 2 lambda minus R upon lambda plus 1, and here it will be minus root 3 R lambda upon 2 upon lambda plus 1. Now what we'll do is, we'll prove that if this line EF, it passes through origin, then basically lambda must be equal to mu. So if origin lies on EF, then slope of OF must be same as slope of OE. So we'll write slope of OF. So what is the slope of OF? Slope of OF will be root 3 R mu upon 2 R plus mu R by 2, and it will be equal to slope of OE, which in this case will be root 3 R lambda upon 2 R by 2 lambda plus R. We'll cancel root 3, we'll cancel this R, we'll cancel this 2, and we'll also cancel this R here. Then we can write mu upon 2 plus mu is equal to lambda upon lambda plus 2. So from here we can say lambda is equal to mu. If this line segment, it passes through center of hexagon, then it divides the two edges in the same ratio. So that's our first part. Now we'll come to the second part, which is, suppose a square ABCD is inscribed in a hexagon such that A and C are on the opposite side of hexagon. Prove that the center of square is same as that of the hexagon. So what we'll do is, we'll prove that this triangle AQB is congruent to this triangle CDT. Now how do we do that? What we'll do is, we'll join these diagonals AC and BD. Now this AC is transversal to these two parallel lines PQ and TS. Now this angle QAC will be equal to this angle ACT. Now we know that this angle is 45 degrees. So angle QAC minus 45 must be equal to angle CAT minus 45 degrees. We can say this angle QAB, it is equal to this angle TCD. Now in the same way, using BD, we can prove that this angle, which is ABQ, will be same as this angle, which is CDT. Now AB and CD, they are sides of a triangle. So basically we can say that these triangles AQB and triangle CTD, they'll be similar triangles. AQ, it must be equal to CT, and if AQ and CT they're same, then AQ upon AP, it must be same as CT upon CS. So from first one, we can say that if line segment has endpoints on opposite edges of hexagon, and if it divides the two edges in the same ratio, it will pass through center of hexagon. So that means this AC, it will pass through center of hexagon, and also BD will pass through center of hexagon. So from here we can say that point of intersection of two diagonals of this square will again pass through center of hexagon, which is origin in this case. Now part C is, suppose the side of hexagon is of length 1 unit, then find the length of the sides of inscribed square whose one pair of opposite side is parallel to a pair of opposite side of a hexagon. So we have this square ABCD inscribed in this hexagon. Now it is given that length of this side is 1 unit. So this is 1, and this is also 1 unit, since it will be an equilateral triangle. Now we need to find length of this square. So what we'll do is we'll say, suppose this length BS, it is simply X. Now this angle will be 60 degrees. We can find length of side BC, and it will be equal to 2 times and then X sine 60, and sine 60 is root 3 by 2, so it will be simply root 3x. So value of BC will be under root 3x. Now if we find this distance it will be x cos 60, so it will be simply x by 2. So we can find AB, and this AB will be this distance, which is 2 units, minus, we have this symmetry, so this distance will be same, so it will be 2 minus 2 x by 2. So value of AB simply will be 2 minus x. Now BC and AB, they are sides of a square, so from here we can say root 3x is equal to 2 minus x. So from here we'll get the value of x as 2 upon root 3 plus 1, or we can simply say value of x is root 3 minus 1. Now we'll need to find length of side of the square. Length of side of the square is root 3x, and the value of x is root 3 minus 1. So it will be root 3 into root 3 minus 1. So length of side of this square will be under root 3 into under root 3 minus 1. Now this part D is show that up to rotation, there is a unique way of inscribing a square in the regular hexagon. So once we have solved this part C, we know that this square will be inscribed in this hexagon when the value of x is root 3 minus 1. So that means this value of x, it is uniquely determined. There is no other value of x possible with which we can inscribe this square within this hexagon. So that means there is only a unique way of inscribing this square inside this hexagon, and there is no other way possible. And this is how we solve these questions.